I wanted to go back to my roots, and I wanted to find out. I knew that I didn't have anybody left anymore, but I wanted to find out whether I had at least some written material or headstones, tombstones, something. So I asked for a big sum of money, and I got it. It was somehow in the air. And I had a technician with me who took care of sound and film. And it was the first time. The second time I had only my sound man with me because it was for the radio. And
what was the project?
the project was how they have coped and how their life has changed with liberation, so-called liberation, if there is anti-Semitism, and how the survivors survived after the war in these countries. And then I interviewed some young people. There weren't many of them. They had all left for somewhere, America, Israel, many in Israel. How did I find them?
Yeah.
I had been a journalist for quite a few decades before that, and I have my tricks. And I have a special technique with with people of Jewish descent or Jews in general. I went in Estonia. I had been already, and I knew people there. And I said that, do you know if there are any Jews left in Tartu? And I still had a distant cousin in Estonia who had survived by somehow. His name was Elhonen Sachs, and he was the historian of the Tallinn community. He spoke Yiddish. And he said that he knows somebody in Tartu who knows all about the Shoah, and he's a survivor himself. And I said, well, I'll go to Tartu. And he said, I can call him for you. I said, please. Well, he did. And then I said, do you know anybody in Riga? Yes. He said, do you know anybody in Vilna, in Kovna? Yes. And he called the right people. And he said that I'm family from Finland and kosher in many ways, and it opened doors. But then I had to, of course, add people, and with Jews it's easier, much easier, because once they heard my accent, once they knew I came from Finland, once I was family, I was family. I was mishpoche. You could talk to me. And most of my interviews are made in Yiddish. I don't know, I know I can cope in Estonian because of my university years, but Yiddish was the language that I used. I don't know any Latvian or Lithuanian, so Yiddish was the natural language. They didn't know any English, so why should I painiken myself with English with people who don't want to speak it? So I spoke Yiddish.
And what did you find out in terms of your big questions?
Nothing. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Not a trace of any documentation. The only thing that I found out, which I had sort of known already, was the green pharmacy in Kovne. Because Asia, who was then the director of the small community in Kovne, showed me a phone book from 1938 or 39, and she said Shabashevich. Yes, she knows that there were many Shabasheviches in Kovne, a very good family, she said. And she said that one owned the Green Pharmacy, which was the best pharmacy in Kovne, where also non-Jews came. And I said, is it still there? Yes, it's still there, and the phone book, but there was absolutely no other documentation, no tombstones, not anything. And I went there, and I didn't go indoors. For some reason, I just couldn't. It wasn't a very professional thing to do, but I just couldn't. Something said that you don't go there. I didn't. But now, and I looked in the streets surrounding. It was the beginning of the Jewish quarters in Kovne. They all had Jewish names. And I knew that my family had lived in the Green, of course, around the Green Pharmacy. There were many ruins in the yards, and I thought, well, the whole extended family must have been there. Yes.
How did you feel?
I had very mixed feelings. I had my journalist ego, but I also had my own. And you know, when I crossed the sort of big yard, it wasn't even a yard, it was more, the market in Kovne, I had a strange feeling that somebody was, a man's voice, very agitated and scared, called Sore. Sore, I had to look around. Sore was my grandmother, my Bobbe. Sore, Sore, and several times. And then I knew that it came from somewhere. It must have been her brother in the Green Pharmacy. I don't believe in that sort of thing, but I do. And it made me, my whole first visit to Kovne was, it was very mixed. But then I learned to push backwards my feelings and be my journalist me. But I couldn't completely, and I didn't want to do it completely, because I had to meet the people as a Jew, not only as a journalist from somewhere.